I'm sharing with you how you can get deals directly from sellers. It's Cam Dovedi at Premier Property. Now, if you're watching this for the first time, if you're joining us, I'm the founder of Premier Property and we do direct to vendor deals direct with the sellers all of the time. I train deal sources on how to do this and I want to share with you so that you can create your own financial economy. Now, this is video number 3 out of the 5-part video series I'm sharing with you the whole system on how you can get deals from sellers. Now, if you haven't watched video number 1 and number 2, I would suggest that you do this. Video number 1 was all about how you get the phone call from the seller when they call you up. And second video was all about how you can prepare for the meeting. This video is all about actually attending the meeting. So let's jump straight into this. Let's get this done together. So you have, of course, like I say, made the phone call. You've now prepared for the meeting. And the third part is actually turning up. So if this is your first time that you're doing this, I mean, I remember my first time, it was so exciting, a little bit nervous, in there. However, very exciting, really exciting knowing that I'm actually doing this. When you've got that feeling where actually, you're actually taking action. So, maybe this is new for you, right? Absolutely exciting times. So when I went up to the seller, in the back of my mind, I already knew, that 80% of our deals at Premier Property come from sellers when they are 30, 40% plus discounted. So over 80% of our deals that are 30% plus are from this exact same method of how you can do this. So when you're attending the meeting, so first of all, you turn up. Now, if you are used to wearing suits and so on, I would suggest you dress down a little bit. I never go into a vendor's house, wearing an expensive watch or anything like that. If that's you, then make sure you take your watch off. If you got a nice car, make sure that your car, you park it around the corner. Because you remember, you got to honor people, right? If someone's in some kind of financial, financial situation where they're a little bit down on their luck, of course, you want to enjoy what you want to enjoy, but we don't really we want to honor them, right? You get my point, right? So it's about honoring people. It's about being honest with people, and it's about doing a deal, negotiating it honestly. So this is what we're doing. So just a couple of things to keep in mind. Very simple, of course they are. Common sense, yes they are. But I just want to share with you because sometimes people don't do that. So put your card to the one side, put your watches away. Any sort of wealth perspective. Just tame it down a little bit as you knock on that door. So what's the first thing that you do when you knock on the door, when the door opens? The first thing is smile. Now, it doesn't cost a lot to smile. When you smile, you find that people smile with you. And there's a lot to smile about because you're going to help the vendor, the seller, and you're also going to help yourself at the same time. So keep this in mind because you're doing business. You're in property to do deals, right? Is this why you're here? If that's the case, well, this is how we do it. So you smile and you put out your hand straight away. Now, when you put out your hand straight away, it's very difficult for someone not to shake your hand. So what you're doing, of course, these are all the little details which make all the big difference. What you're doing is you're building rapport and you're building honest rapport. So you're smiling at them, making them feel comfortable. And at the same time, you're extending your hand for them to shake your hand. And typically they will shake your hand. And once they've done that, you ask them, may I come in? Ask for permission. So you ask for the permission and you then go into the property. So once you've done this, remember, it doesn't matter what condition the property is. Now, typically, the types of properties that we're buying, the golden nugget deals, typically aren't in good condition. I would say, thinking about it, this is my thinking phase, by the way, over probably 95% I can think of in the year, if I'm thinking about the data, just the top of my head, 90 to 95% of the deals that we bought in this way from sellers, the property, only in the 5 to 10% instance has been in a good condition where it looks beautiful. 90-95% of the time, the property, it needs a refurb, it needs a light refurb, it's a complete mess, it needs cleaning. So just be aware of these things as you go in. But just think of these properties like rough diamonds, that you can polish up if you like, if you can if you get me, right? So just think of it like that. Think of the opportunity that you've got available that's right in front of you, if you're following what I'm saying. Now, thinking about this, you go in, you're relaxed, you're friendly, you're not pointing out how much of a mess that property is. And your key point here now, as you enter the property, the first point is to actually fact find. Fact find, and secondly, the second point is to assess the property. And the third part is to decide if this is a deal that is worth negotiating with. So there's three parts that are actually happening in this section at the meeting. Very easy, very doable. Remember, you can of course listen back to these videos, as many times as you like, of course. And so here you can do this in this way. So remember, when you're walking around the property, your aim is to be assessing these three things: the scenario of the seller, the scenario of the property, and also, is it a deal? That's what we're checking for. Now, with the seller, as you're looking around, now at Premier Property, we have actually a whole method on how you can view a property within 15 minutes or less, where the seller doesn't even know what's happening. It's all under the radar. It's a complete system that we have. I can share that with you. You can get access to that another time, okay? So just as we're going around, we're assessing the property. And what we're really doing, and what the seller will notice, is that you are actually having a nice, relaxed conversation with them. They don't really know that you're assessing the property with this under the radar methods, the formula that we have. So you are finding anything and everything where you can find a match, where you can find there's something that you can relate to. So have a look around. So, when you walk into a living room, for example, living rooms are wonderful, aren't they? Because they show people's personalities, they show people's lifestyles. So look out for photos, look out for any hobbies they may have. And if there's anything that you can honestly relate to, then you can absolutely do this. If they've got kids, for example, you might ask gently without prying too much, ask about their children or ask about their family members. Or if there's a hobby or you see a guitar or something like that, ask about it. So you're building that rapport naturally and organically as you're walking around the property. And what you're looking for is the assessment of what type of situation that seller is actually in. So, key type of situations that sellers are in. So number one, are they relocating? Are they in a process of relocation? And if they are in a process of relocation, how far are they actually traveling? And what is the urgency of that travel? Because of course, the more urgent it is, the further away it is, the more likely they are to do a deal with you. And you're finding out the facts because, see, the myth is the price is the most important factor, but it really isn't. If you can find out a solution for that seller which works for them, and you're doing this through this fact find you're doing right now, then what you'll find is that the seller is going to be much more amicable to a discounted deal. If you haven't found the facts and you just give them a discounted deal, then of course that's not going to work. What is going to work is you finding these. So, is it the case? Is it that? Is that, and how important is it for them to actually move forward, and how much time do they need? So if you could act quickly, would that help them? Yeah. So that'd be one thing. Debt can be another one. So, you ask these questions directly because you got to find out. Don't be afraid of asking. It's okay. You'll get used to this. Play these videos back, take them with you. You can listen to this again on the way as you're going to the vendor as well. So, just check in and find out. Ask them directly. Are you in any type of financial circumstance? Are you in debt right now? Typically, as you're talking to them, they'll come out with the information anyway. Ask open-ended questions. So, why are you selling your property? So here's some good questions that you can ask. Why are you selling your property? Why are you selling it? Why are you selling your property? And they'll give you a reason. Another question that you can ask, which is a really good question, is why don't you just keep this property? John, this looks like you've got a lovely potential. Please don't lie to them. Just be honest with them. If it's a trashy place, you don't want to say this is a lovely property. Be real. Keep it real. And if you don't understand the situation, please don't say you understand the situation, because you don't. But we can be empathetic, can't we? We can be honest with this. So if you're following me, so what we do is we just ask open-ended questions. Why are you selling this property? Why don't you keep this property, John? It's got great potential. You see how we did this? So they'll open up to you and they will let you know. And just go deeper, 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 finding out the fact find, and all the information will become apparent. Think of all the points, the key pain points that they have that you can help them with to offer a solution. So right now, you're writing things down, you're making mental notes. You know, as you get really good at this, you'll just be able to take it all in mentally and not have to write things down, because you can write that down later on. So you make notes as we go along, and you're assessing the situation. So you're fact finding, and you're getting all of this ready and prepared. So in the next video, what I'm going to be sharing with you is with all the fact finding, with all the walking around and checking the property. So 2 aspects have been done. In the next video, in the 4th video, in this 5-part series, I'll be sharing with you and showing you how you can actually then negotiate and make an offer at the viewing. No point making an offer afterwards. It's got to be at the viewing. Very important. And I'll explain why in the next video. So I'll see you then on the next video. Bye for now. It's Dovedi. If you haven't subscribed, click on the button, subscribe, and I'll make sure you get the videos as quick as possible.